Padge here. Just thought I'd do a quick piece to camera because obviously, as you're all aware, or you might have seen on the news today that the MHRA have made a few decisions regarding electronic cigarettes, and that is the Medicines and Healthcare Regulatory Agency, and they basically want to bring e-cigarettes now in line with all other nicotine replacement therapies. So it sounds to me like they're going on a bit of a witch hunt really, for the actual liquids and not the devices and stuff that we use to vape on. Personally, I still believe that it's a tax issue, because they know how much they're losing through sales of cigarettes, because people are now choosing to use electronic cigarettes. I also believe that it's their way of getting some reimbursement, if you like, back from not getting the tax on the cigarettes to get it through the e-liquids. And I just fear now that our liquids are going to become so much more expensive. At the moment we pay about £4.95, £4.50, going right down to about £3.50 mark for a 10ml bottle of juice. My fear and my concern is now that we could possibly be paying £6, £7, £8 for a 10ml bottle, purely because it falls under the nicotine replacement therapy bracket. I personally don't use any of the nicotine replacement therapies because they haven't worked with me. None of them have worked with me. And alright, people say that £18 pack of patches is still cheaper than 100 cigarettes. Yes, it is, but it's got a 95% fail rate. Okay, and the government know how successful electronic cigarettes have been. They can see the statistics. They can see the growing trend with people using them and coming away from the sort of cigalites, the replica sort of cigarettes, and going more towards devices like this. And it's not because it's making it more attractive for kids to get involved with, because as Root Tapper 79 outlined last night in his piece to camera, there's legislation since about 2005 where 12-year-olds can quite easily go into a pharmacy and get nicotine replacement therapy. So it's not that we're trying to make these more attractive. That's just a scapegoat. Again, e-cigarette users, vapors, are being used as scapegoats. I personally can see the black market coming back if the government put prices up to an extent where it just becomes silly, uneconomical. No one wants to go back to smoking. It says also on their website that this isn't probably going to come into force until maybe next year, or at the latest 2016. So we do have maybe a year to 18 months before things really start taking effect. But personally for me, 4 milligrams of nicotine isn't enough for me. It was never enough for me on the patches, on the tablets, on the lozenges. If I want my chosen nicotine strength and I can't get it because the government is making it harder for me to get, then I'm sorry, I'll openly admit now that I'll be quite happy to go and buy it black market, because I don't want to go back to cigarettes. And that is it. I don't consider myself as a non-smoker. I consider myself as a smoker that's using nicotine in a healthier way. I'm getting my nicotine hit in a cleaner transportation system, if you like. Okay, my nicotine is purer because it's not mixed with all the carcinogenics, 250 of them minimum that you get in each cigarette. And nicotine on its own is proven to be no more harmful than a dose of caffeine. So yes, I'm all for the government regulating and quality control, because there are going to be vendors out there or people, you know, cutting corners, and no one wants to see anybody get ill or get hurt from dodgy liquids. But please don't make it so you outprice common folk, or just, you know, reduce it so that the nicotine levels are so low that it just doesn't have any effect. Remember, this was never ever a nicotine replacement therapy. It was just an alternative to smoking, and that's how the government should have really seen it. These are my views. All my views are my own, obviously. A bit like e-liquids, views are quite subjective and not everyone's going to agree with what I've just said, but we are all allowed freedom of speech. So there you have it. I've been Padge. Have a great day. I've got some reviews coming up at some point. Take care. Bye for now.